Dan Ripley Host commentator 15:33 Live Swansea City v Newcastle United follow the action here while one manager in Boer feels the pressure after a winless, pointless and goalless start. Another won't even be in the hot seat around or off Sunday's drama. Rafa Benitez hasnt fully recovered following an operation and will not be at the Liberty Stadium as Newcastle visit Swansea City. You can catch post-match fallout from Turf Moor here, but you can follow this link to join me for all the South Wales drama. I'll see you there. 15:25 Crystal Palace set an unwanted Premier League record for Crystal Palace are the first top-flight team since Preston in 192,425 to lose their opening 4 matches without scoring a goal. Flap OptaJoe at OptaJoe September 10, 2017 Palace is the 4th team after Derby 1899, Stoke 1906, Preston 1924 to lose the first 4 matches of a top-flight season without scoring. Gracenote Live at Gracenote Live September 10, 2017 15:22 Full-time Burnley 10 Crystal Palace manager Frank de Boer looks on from the touchline at Turf Moor 90 minutes. I cannot believe what I am seeing and neither can de Boer. How have Palace missed this? A cross into the box is begging to be headed home from 4 yards out but down somehow nods wide. This is arguably Palace's best performance of the season, but that is going to mean very little to de Boer after this. There will be 3 added minutes. 88 minutes it's all Palace now, as Johan Cabet's long-range strike is punched away by Pope. It's been 93 years since the club last started a top-flight campaign, losing all 4 games without scoring. Can Palace avoid breaking that streak? 86 minutes desperation for Palace, but for the first time in this match Burnley look under serious pressure as Townsend's shot across goal is deflected just wide. Burnley's Nick Pope saves from Crystal Palace's Christian Benteke. 84 minutes and yet another Palace chance. Just like the first half, a corner falls for Scott Dan in the box, but his goal-bound effort is blocked on the line. 15:11 Burnley and Crystal Palace substitutions. 82 minutes changes for both teams as Crystal Palace send on Jairo Riedewald, a defender, for James MacArthur, while Burnley replace Stephen Defoe with Ashley Westwood. 79 minutes. What a chance for Palace. Benteke really should be scoring this as he is released inside the box, but as he tried to slot low past Pope, the Burnley keeper makes a tremendous stop after coming off his line. 15:05 76 minutes. It's been another tough afternoon for Benteke, who through total frustration just barges into James Tarkowski, challenging for a header to pick up a booking. Crystal Palace's Jeffrey Schlupp shoots over the crossbar from inside the box. 74 minutes is the game finally opening up. Hennessy is finally called back into action as Barnes cuts onto his left foot before curling a shot towards the top corner, which is palmed away by the Palace keeper. 72 minutes. De Boer cannot believe it. Finally Palace carve open a chance as Benteke nods the ball down for Jeff Schlupp, who from 17 yards clumsy rifles over the bar. De Boer throws his water bottle down in a combination of frustration and despair. He also knows that was a good opportunity for an equalizer. 70 minutes, 20 minutes to go, and it says a lot about this second half that one of its major highlights is a long ball from Matthew Lowton. The fullback's pass towards the Palace box is a dangerous one, but Timothy Fosu-Mensah rises well to head clear. 67 minutes. Lots of Palace possession, but I'm starting to feel I can watch this team play until Christmas and they still wouldn't score. Burnley looks comfortable at the back, having isolated target man Benteke. Crystal Palace's Mamadou Sakho left and Ruben Loftus-Cheek centre look on from the stands. 14:55 Burnley and Crystal Palace substitution. 64 minutes on comes Barnes then, and it's a like-for-like change as the forward replaces Sam Vokes, who has struggled to get involved this afternoon. Meanwhile, Palace also make a switch as Lee Chang-yong's horror afternoon comes to an end as he is replaced by youngster Levi Lumaka making his debut. 63 minutes changes on the way and there for Burnley as Ashley Barnes is getting ready to come on. 60 minutes given Burnley have the advantage. Maybe we can cut them some slack, but since taking a third-minute lead I can't remember an occasion where Wayne Hennessy has had to make a save in the Crystal Palace goal. Still, the Clarets sit back and invite Palace pressure. 57 minutes. All the possession is with Crystal Palace right now, and they're just starting to put the hosts under pressure. Still no way past the Burnley back four though as we approach the hour mark. 54 minutes. The effort is there for Palace, but Burnley are matching them and are constantly forcing the Eagles into mistakes on the ball. So far in this half, Pope has been rather redundant in the Burnley goal. Crystal Palace's Jason Puncheon takes a free kick at Turf Moor that the Burnley wall blocks. 51 minutes. In fact, back comes the wind and rain, but Jeff Schlupp can't use that as an excuse as he overhits a through ball for James MacArthur inside the box. That Palace attack had promise too. 48 minutes. With the sun departing behind the clouds again, it's been a scrappy start to the second half. Neither side really on top at this stage in what has become a midfield tussle. 14:35 No additional changes at the break as the game restarts. Nick Pope above replaced injured Burnley keeper Tom Heaton in the first half. 14:32 Player watch Stephen Ward. Burnley it's Crystal Palace who are likely to be chasing goals for the next 45 minutes, but they can't throw everything at Burnley. Stephen Ward is finding much joy attacking the left flank from left back, and his crossing this afternoon has been rather on point. Here is his first half heat map. Click here for more maps and stats with our excellent match zone. 14:25 Same old story for Crystal Palace and Frank de Boer, but my word, de Boer can't catch a break right now. 3.5 Premier League games into his tenure and the Dutch manager is still looking for a goal. Palace were not that bad in the first half though. The goal conceded was certainly something de Boer can't legislate for, while the Eagles have created 3 very good chances to equalise. Burnley though look organised at the back as well as dangerous going forward and have had opportunities to extend their early lead. 14:20 half-time. Burnley 10 Crystal Palace manager Frank de Boer looks on from the touchline. 451 minutes. Well, Townsend at least can still get a shot away as his 25-yard strike is well taken by Pope via a deflection. 45 minutes. It's not just Burnley who appear to have injury concerns. Andros Townsend isn't moving all that freely as we enter 3 added minutes. 14:15 42 minutes. The late summer sun is now out in full force at Turf Moor as we approach the end of this first half, with Burnley looking more likely to add to the scoring at this point. 14:08 Burnley substitution. 36 minutes. It looks like Heaton has dislocated his shoulder, and that means coming on for his Premier League debut is 25-year-old Nick Pope, who has spent much of his career in the lower leagues. 14:06 34 minutes. That's an awkward one for Tom Heaton, who climbs above Ben to pluck out a Lee cross before landing very awkwardly. He is in some pain and there are doubts whether he can continue here. Meanwhile, Robbie Brady is booked following a challenge in the build-up to the previous Palace attack. 32 minutes. James Tarkowski loses the ball for Burnley, who then in the aftermath concede a free kick on the edge of the box. It's a chance for Palace, but Johan Cabaye can only fire into the wall before the hosts clear. James McArthur heads wide from a Crystal Palace corner as his side chase an equaliser. 29 minutes. Palace are mixing up the play, but it's not all coming off. Even the long ball is being introduced with Benteke as a target man, but the striker is being heavily man-marked. 26 minutes. Superb defending by Joel Ward. A dangerous cross from the Burnley right looks destined for Brady to tap in at the far post, only for the Palace full-back to turn the ball behind with a diving header. 24 minutes. Brady and Ward combine again, with the former's back post cross nodded behind for a corner. Chris Wood left celebrates scoring his team's first goal in front of Claret's supporters. 22 minutes and that should be an equaliser. It's a third chance for Palace, but as James McArthur attacks a corner kick he can only glance a header wide across goal. Chris Wood took advantage of an error to fire Burnley into a third-minute lead. 20 minutes. Palace are coming back into this match now. The chances may have dried up after the first 10 minutes, but this has been an intriguing encounter so far as the Eagles win a corner. 17 minutes. Burnley are finding encouragement attacking the left. Stephen Ward is playing more like a winger as he doubles up with Robbie Brady, but the latter's through ball for his teammate is just a little overhit as an attack breaks down. 14 minutes. After that frantic start, it's Burnley who are getting the ball down and playing. Lots of confidence is radiating from Sean Dyche's side right now, a stark contrast to Palace. 11 minutes. Wood is through on goal again, but this time after pouncing on some hesitancy in the Palace defence he can only lift his finish off target. Another chance, not quite as clear-cut as the others admittedly. 13:42 from OptaJoe 30. Since August 2016, only Harry Kane 31 and Billy Sharp 34 have scored more English League goals than Chris Wood 30. Opener OptaJoe at OptaJoe September 10, 2017. 8 minutes. What a start to this game. Burnley nearly double the lead. Stephen Ward crosses from the byline towards the near post and glancing ahead just wide across the face of the target is Sam Vokes. This game is less than 10 minutes old and already it could be 22. Burnley's Chris Wood celebrates scoring the opening goal in just the third minute. 6 minutes, but Palace are nearly level from a corner. Scott Down brings down the ball, only for his low shot across goal to be cleared off the line. And another Palace effort. Townsend's cross is headed wide by Christian Benteke. At the very least Frank de Boer has a positive response from his side. 13:34 goal. Burnley 10 Crystal Palace 3 minutes. A penny for Frank de Boer's thoughts. This is dreadful, unforgivable at any level in football. Lee Chang-yong plays a pass back from his halfway line straight into the path of Chris Wood, who steers a cool finish past a stranded Wayne Hennessy. 13:31 kick-off. Burnley get us underway at Turf Moor. Remember to get the most out of our live coverage by following all the action with Sportsmail's excellent Match Zone. It features the latest lineups, formations, match stats and a handy player comparison tool. In addition, there are heat zones for every player as well as detailed maps of all the goals as they go in. Click on the above link for more. Republic of Ireland assistant manager Roy Keane looks on from inside Turf Moor. 13:27 out come the players at Turf Moor. It's a bit early for must-win matches, but damned Crystal Palace need 3 points this afternoon. It's a wet and windy afternoon at Turf Moor as the teams arrive on the pitch. Here is how the bottom of the table looks before the game. Click here for more fixtures, tables and results with our Match Zone. 13:16 The players are warming up at an overcast Turf Moor. Jeffrey Schlupp of Crystal Palace and Lee Chang-yong warm up before the match. Johan Kabay of Crystal Palace and Andros Townsend stretch the muscles during the warm-up. 12:57 It's also a change of formation for Palace. It seems the Eagles have struggled under Frank de Boer's change of formation. formation and philosophy, and at the very least there is a change in the former as Palace lineup with a 433. Lee Chang-yong, Andros Townsend and Christian Benteke will lead the attack. 12:42 Crystal Palace make 3 changes for the trip to Burnley. James Tompkins has been ruled out for Crystal Palace, with Timothy Fosu-Mensah playing at centre-back in his place. Johan Cabaye and Lee Chang-yong come in, with Luka Milivojevic and Patrick van Aanholt dropping out. Burnley make just one alteration to the side that grabbed a deserved 11 draw at Tottenham, with Chris Wood brought into the attack in place of Scott Arfield following his stoppage time equaliser at Wembley. Crystal Palace's Johan Cabaye arrives before the match as the midfielder comes into the team. 12:21 Burnley are going global. They're now as rich as Inter Milan, and they aren't spending a fortune either. Ian Herbert. Burnley's preparations for the arrival of Crystal Palace on Sunday have included the new £15 million striker sitting across the bridge from the new £10.5 million training facility, discussing the prospect of playing against Lionel Messi in a World Cup qualifying match. Don't let it be said that they are splashing the money here. This was one of only 5 Premier League clubs who earned more than they spent in the summer. But Burnley, population 73,000, reveal more than most the Premier League's capacity to create a global awareness of the most improbable places. Read more here. 12:10 Both teams have arrived at Turf Moor. Crystal Palace manager Frank de Boer signs autographs for fans before the match. Ashley Barnes greets supporters ahead of Burnley's clash with Crystal Palace. 12:05 We may be coming towards the end of summer, but it's only just heating up at Crystal Palace, especially in the managerial hot seat, where Frank de Boer is already under pressure following a catastrophic start to the Premier League campaign. But with a transfer window and an international break out the way, can the Eagles now kick on at Burnley? Good afternoon and welcome to Sportsmail's coverage of Burnley v Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace manager Frank de Boer is already under pressure.